It's day 2 of the DS Federal Congress at Gallagher Estate in Midrand. Voting for the new leadership is taking place this morning, with results expected this afternoon. Incumbent leader John Steenhuisen is up against former Mayor, Joburg Mayor Mpho. Helen Zille, on the other hand, is poised for re-election as Federal Council Chair. Senior reporter Siphamandla Goge is at the Congress floor and joins us live for the very latest. Thank you very much for your time once again this morning, Siphamandla Goge. We heard from Helen Zille, who stands unopposed as Federal Council leader for the party, saying she's humbled and honoured to be serving once again for the DA. What are the people's sentiments there? I suppose if she's unopposed, people are happy with the way she has been doing things for the Federal Council. But what have you heard on the ground about her position in particular, and who should be taking on the reins as the overall DA leader, John Steenhuisen or Mpho?
Well, indeed, it depends how you look at it. Before I answer that question, I've spotted Natasha Mazzoni here. I'll interview her shortly, but for now, let me tell you that Helen Zille came to this conference or this Congress uncontested. That obviously those who support her will tell her that she has played a crucial role in growing the DA as a party, making it the official opposition. Remember, she decided to take a step back and she was lobbied to come back, and many people criticized that move when she decided to come back into active politics. Yesterday I asked her, does she regret coming back? She said not necessarily. She would have preferred to stay behind the scenes, but there was a call for her to come back. She embraced that call, and she says she's humbled by the fact that she is not being contested for the position of the Federal Council chairperson. Let me bring you and our viewers up to speed and tell you that voting has officially closed. Now it's counting. We expect the announcement of the results in the afternoon. The announcement that was made a few minutes ago was that voting is done and dusted. There is no one who's still voting. It's counting now. Results will be announced in the afternoon. Many people are paying attention to the position of the federal leader, and that is the incumbent John Steenhuisen, who is going up against former City of Joburg Mayor Dr. Mpho. Many analysts believe that it's going to be an easy win for John, but this is a Congress. Anything can happen. Dr. Mpho told me yesterday that she's confident she's going to win. Natasha Mazzoni, thank you very much for joining us. If you can come through here. First of all, let's talk about your experience in voting. How was it? There were concerns regarding the electronic system that is being used to vote. The DA has defended that. Most of the delegates I've interviewed have said to me, well, they are happy with the system. There were no glitches. It's the best system. Do you agree?
Absolutely. OpenVote is a world-class system. It is so easy to use. We've tested it. It's tried, trusted and tested in the DA all over the world. This morning we started voting at 6 o'clock, voting closed at 9 o'clock, and it was the most simple, easy way of voting. It was really a great pleasure, and it's the most secretive way of voting too, which is really nice.
Who did you vote for, and are you hopeful that you got the support too?
Well, I voted for John Steenhuisen. There's absolutely, I'm always open and honest about who I voted for. I voted for John Steenhuisen. I believe strongly in him. And for the delegates who's standing with me, I'm going to keep that one a secret, because the problem is I love all of them. So I'm standing with a group of people who are just exceptional. So 3 of us are going to win and the others won't. But honestly, I can tell you, if I'm not one of the winners, I know that the 3 people who come in are absolutely superb, and I have full trust in them.
Let's talk about what will happen now, what will transpire. Voting is done and dusted. Another crucial element for any Congress, be it the DA or any other political party, is the issue of policies and the resolutions that will be taken. Now we are going to go through that, discuss that. What key policies would you like to see being discussed here and probably adopted?
Well, you're going to see me on that stage quite a bit, because I have a few policies myself. For me, one of the most important ones is incorporating climate change in the way we deal with the national security of our country, because we know that climate change is having a huge effect on the security of countries in terms of weather, food security, energy security, and security in general. So we're looking at policies that are going to be dealing with things like that. It's the coal face issues, and that's why this session is so terribly important. And everyone who's speaking is sitting in the aisles. We're all ready. We've got our policy papers prepared. We're ready to present to council, and we're all very excited about what we have to say.
Two main things will also need to be discussed here. Very unstable coalition governments. Some of your mayors in Gauteng metros have been basically removed using those unstable coalition governments. But also 2024 is fast approaching. 2019 was brutal to the DA. You did not do well. Are you hopeful that moving forward after this conference you will emerge with a united democratic alliance that is going to fare well in the elections?
Look, I think that the DA is already united. I think if you look around you, you see a very, very united DA. But I think coming out of this Congress with the resolutions that we've passed, the constitutional amendments we've passed, with the leadership that we'll elect today, the great thing about the DA is once the election is over, it's done. There is no one person that is more important or bigger than the party. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the election, the process to be done so that we can get down to the hard work that we need to do to get ourselves into government in 2024.
You mentioned the issue of the constitutional amendments. I saw you raising a green card yesterday in support of the proposal to amend the constitution to include the deputy federal leader of the DA. At the end of the day, that did not pass, but you are one of those who supported that. And many people were surprised by the margin in terms of voting, 879 against 850. It's a huge improvement, taking into account what happened in the previous Congress, where many delegates opposed that proposal.
Look, I'm a big believer in making the circle bigger, and I think that the more people that we have to consult with, the more people that we have to go around the country and campaign, the better off we are for it. And I think considering the importance of 2024, we are all going to have to be on the ground all the time, working 24/7, and that's why my green card went up.
Let's talk about a personal matter that affects you. I've been reading this morning the Times Live reporting that you have not received your security clearance to serve in the committee in Parliament because of your dual citizenship. Have you received your security clearance or not?
I have not, but no one from SSA or from the security has said it's got anything to do with my dual citizenship. Where the Sunday Times gets this from is a mystery to me. He says 3 sources, and I don't believe it. Give me the names of 3 people and I'll believe you. No one has written to me. No one has written to the leader of the opposition. It's taken one of my colleagues 8 months. It took another colleague 11 months to get the security clearance. It's not an easy process that you go through. It's a long process that you go through. I'm at month number 5, so I'm still pretty much in the section of getting the clearance, but I'm the Shadow Minister of State Security, and believe you me, I don't need to be in a committee room to find out who's corrupt and who we need to be going after.
Simply put, you are still waiting.
I'm still waiting.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's Natasha Mazoni here talking to us about, her support for John Steenhuisen and the Congress that is underway. If we still have time, I would like to throw to a bite. Let's just listen in to what the Premier of the Western Cape, Alan Winde, had to say about governance issues, because he was using the Western Cape as one of the pride of the DA, where they govern, saying things work. You would know that the Democratic Alliance will always say where we govern, things work. So before coming on air, Alan Winde was addressing the delegates, and this is what he had to say about governance in the Western Cape, saying they hope to implement that across the country should they emerge victorious in 2024.
Now see the evidence. I've just got the latest detail on the reduction of crime on week 10 to 11. That's this current data. In Langa, the murder rate dropped by 48% year on year. In Khayelitsha by 17%. In Philippi East by 14%. And in Midrand by 5%. Where the DA governs, we make the difference. The DA gets things done. We've also launched our violence prevention unit so that we can identify those young boys before they get into gangs. Those are the future entrepreneurs in our ecosystem. They shouldn't be in gangs. They should be finishing their school and going into business. We've got to identify them early and make sure that they get the opportunity into the future, not like it is at the moment.
Indeed, that is the Premier of the Western Cape, that is Alan Winde. He was talking about governance issues in the Western Cape, highlighting successes and challenges. And our viewers would recall that when it comes to the energy crisis and the electricity crisis in South Africa, the Western Cape has been very vocal in saying they would want to be off the grid. They are saying they are increasing their efforts to get out of the grid so that they will ensure a stable and reliable supply of power to their residents and businesses in the Western Cape. Take a listen to their Premier.
We also have an energy plan. Now, provinces don't normally do this, but because of ANC failure, not able to keep the lights on, we just passed on Wednesday night a 1.1 billion rand budget in the Western Cape to provide energy into our province and end load shedding. We are going to be energy independent of Eskom. We are going to produce, by 2035, 5,700 megawatts of independent power coming from the private sector. We use 4,000 megawatts at the moment as a province. We are providing for future economic growth. Our municipalities are already going out on tender. Cape Town's already done their 200 megawatt green energy tender. On Wednesday this week, they went out for 500 megawatts of dispatchable power. Our other municipalities are close behind with real innovation and change to end load shedding. Our province is going to deliver energy packs to indigent households. And what we are also going to do this year is make sure we get a few towns load shedding free off the grid this year alone.
Well, the member of the Democratic Alliance who is deployed as the Premier of the Western Cape province, highlighting the successes and challenges of the Western Cape where the DA governs, and that is Alan Winde. And I can tell you that right now the Congress, this 2023 Federal Congress of the official opposition, is getting into the policy direction. They are discussing policies now and resolutions, and that's the most important aspect before we get to the announcement of the election results, particularly where many people are paying attention to the federal leader of the DA. Who will it be? It's been a two-horse race between John Steenhuisen and Dr. Mpho Phalatse. With